3 weeks ago, they sealed the city. They told the world it was a virus. You are the doctor. You have seen every patient. It is not a virus. You have been practicing medicine in this city for 11 years. You know every family on your patient list by name. You know which children have asthma, which elderly patients take blood thinners, which pregnant women are due in the next 6 weeks. You know this city the way a doctor knows a city they have chosen to stay in. And 3 weeks ago, the government sealed every road, every rail line, every communication channel in and out. A military perimeter, 2 kilometers outside the city limits. The official statement said, virus, highly contagious, rapidly progressing, contained to this area. You read the statement on the last functioning news feed before that went dark too. And you felt something you have not felt since medical school. Pure clinical confusion. Because the patients you are treating do not have a virus, and you have no idea what they have. But you are starting to. The first cases appeared 6 weeks ago, before the seal. 3 patients, separate families, no contact with each other, presenting with the same cluster of symptoms. Fatigue so severe they could not get out of bed. Cognitive disruption, difficulty forming sentences, losing words mid-thought. Tremors, and a specific kind of inflammation in the blood work that you had never seen before and could not immediately classify. You ran every standard panel. Nothing matched any known pathogen. You referred them to the regional hospital for further testing. 2 weeks later, before the results came back, the city was sealed. And then the other doctors started leaving. Not all at once, quietly, one by one. A family emergency, a conference, a reassignment. Within a week of the seal, you are the only physician left inside the perimeter, and the patient list is growing. 40 cases, then 80, then 112, all presenting with the same cluster, all from different parts of the city, all drinking the same municipal water supply. You find the first piece. You pull the municipal water records. It takes you 4 days to get access. The city administration office is running on skeleton staff. Half the civil servants left before the seal. But you get the records, and you find something that should not be there. 8 months ago, the water treatment facility changed one of its chemical filtration processes, a routine upgrade, approved by the city, contracted to a private company. You write down the company name. You search it on the last functioning local server. It is a subsidiary of a pharmaceutical company whose name you recognize immediately. Because 6 months ago, that same pharmaceutical company distributed a new broad-spectrum antibiotic to every registered GP in the region. A new drug, fast-tracked through approval, distributed with a note saying it showed exceptional results in preliminary trials and was being offered free of charge to participating practices for a limited period. You prescribed it to 43 patients. You sit very still for a long time. The drug and the water are connected. You go back through your patient files. Every single one of your 112 symptomatic patients falls into one of 2 categories. They were prescribed the antibiotic, or they have been drinking the municipal water in the highest concentration zones, the older residential areas where the pipe infrastructure runs closest to the treatment facility. There is no third category. There is no overlap with any other variable, not age, not pre-existing conditions, not occupation, not geography beyond the water zones. The drug and the water. Something in the drug interacts with something introduced into the water supply 8 months ago. You do not know what yet, but you know this is not a virus. And you know the pharmaceutical company knew about this interaction before you did. because they controlled both variables. You try to get a message out. Your phone has had no signal since day 4 of the seal. The internet access point in the city library was shut down on day 6. The emergency radio frequency that the city uses for civil emergencies connects to a government operator who tells you to remain calm and follow the health authority guidance, and disconnects. You write a detailed clinical report, 14 pages, everything you have found, the water records, the drug distribution, the patient clusters, the interaction hypothesis. You give it to a man who lives near the eastern perimeter and has been passing small items through the fence to family members on the other side. He tells you he will try. 3 days later, he comes back. The report never made it through. The military personnel at the perimeter confiscated it. He is not sure if they read it. You write another one.
They know you know. On day 19, a car comes to your clinic. 2 men, civilian clothes, government identification you do not recognize the department of. They are very polite. They tell you they are coordinating the medical response inside the perimeter. They ask you to share your patient files and your clinical notes for centralized processing. You tell them your clinical notes are incomplete. They tell you to share what you have. You share the patient files. You do not share the clinical notes. They thank you. They leave. That night you make 3 copies of everything. You give 1 copy to the man near the eastern perimeter. You hide 1 copy in the ceiling of the clinic storeroom. You keep 1 copy on your person. Because the morning after their visit, your clinic has been broken into. Nothing is taken except your desk drawer, which contained nothing of value, except the original draft of your 14-page report, which you no longer needed anyway, because you had already memorized every word of it. You have 2 choices. You can keep treating patients, keep your head down, keep doing the job, wait for the seal to lift. Trust that eventually the truth will surface through some other channel, or you can do something that terrifies you more than anything that has happened in the last 3 weeks. You can become the kind of person who does not wait. You have 11 years in this city. You know every street, every building, every person who owes you a favor, and every person who trusts you unconditionally, and you know something else. On the western edge of the city, there is a television journalist who covered the city council for 15 years before the local station was shut down in the first week of the seal. She still has a camera. And you have 14 pages of clinical evidence that a pharmaceutical company introduced a substance into the municipal water supply that interacts fatally with a drug they simultaneously distributed to every GP in the region. You pick up your copy of the report. You walk to the western edge of the city. She films everything, 3 hours. You walk her through every page, every patient file, every data point, every connection between the drug and the water. She asks good questions, hard ones, the kind that make you sharper, not defensive.
By the time you finish, it is past midnight. She looks at you across the table, and she says, "I believe you, but I need you to understand something. If I get this footage out, and I can get it out, I know how, the story that lands on the other side of that perimeter is going to compete with 3 weeks of government messaging, pharmaceutical company PR, and a population that has been told this is a virus." You look at her, and you tell her, "Get it out anyway." It gets out. It lands wrong. The footage breaks 48 hours later, on 3 independent news platforms simultaneously. The pharmaceutical company responds within 6 hours. Their statement is calm, detailed, heavily sourced. It acknowledges the water treatment change. It was a standard mineral filtration upgrade, completely unrelated to the antibiotic program. It acknowledges the antibiotic distribution, exceptional results in trials, no known interactions with any municipal water treatment process. It references a virologist, a named, credentialed, internationally recognized virologist, who confirms the pathogen hypothesis. A novel virus, extremely rare, coincidentally presenting with symptoms that superficially resemble certain drug interaction profiles to an untrained observer. The statement does not call you a liar. It calls you a scared doctor in a stressful situation who drew understandable but incorrect conclusions from incomplete data. It thanks you for your dedication to your patients. By the end of the day, the footage has been viewed 4 million times. The overwhelming response is not outrage at the pharmaceutical company. It is sympathy for the scared doctor who got it wrong. The seal lifts 6 weeks later. The official cause is confirmed as a novel pathogen, contained, eradicated, no further risk. You are still in the city. You are still seeing patients. Some of them are getting better. Some of them are not. You still have one copy of the 14-page report, hidden in the ceiling of the clinic storeroom. You still have the patient files. You still have the water records. You still have the drug distribution data. You have everything you had the night you sat across from the journalist. The only thing that has changed is that now everyone who might have believed you has already decided they do not. You go back to work, because that is what doctors do. And every morning you open the clinic, you look at the faces of the patients who are not getting better. And you think about the other copy of the report, the one you gave to the man near the eastern fence, the one that may or may not have made it through, the one you have never heard anything about, the one that might be sitting in a drawer somewhere, or might be in the hands of someone who is not ready to use it yet, or might be gone. You do not know. You keep working. You keep waiting. Some truths take longer than others.